Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. My name is Callie, and this is another weekend of clarinets, cats, and coffee. In today's video, I am going to do a little etude that I thought would be really fun. It's clearly a finger exercise. It's in the key of C major, and it's just all these little runs going up and down, kind of progressing all the way full range, basically, through the instrument. And I haven't worked on it before, and I thought it would be fun to see what speed I could work it up to in 10 minutes. So if you don't feel like watching me practice for 10 minutes, working my metronome all the way up, it's going to be completely uncut. I'm just going to set my timer and do it. So if you don't feel like watching all of that and you just want to hear the finished product, you can fast forward. I'm going to just sight read it for you really quick at the tempo that I feel comfortable at, and then we'll see how it goes working on it. Before I get into that, I want to say thank you to all my patrons and channel members who support my channel. If you are not already supporting my channel through Patreon or channel membership, be sure to check it out. Patreon and YouTube channel membership have pretty much the same perks, so it just kind of depends on which platform you prefer to support me with. If you are in this for the long haul and you want to support me long term, I highly recommend going over to Patreon, because you can get a full year up front and you get 10% off for the whole year. So that's the benefit of Patreon. If you like cute little emojis and stuff, do channel memberships, but if it doesn't matter to you, just pick the one that you like the best. Either one will support my channel and I will greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about this little etude. So the first thing that most people will tell you when you're working on any kind of technique is when you're practicing slow, try to keep your fingers close to the keys. So here's my thought on that. And I know I've said this in previous videos before too. And I've really thought about this a lot lately, because I don't always keep my fingers close to the keys, and a lot of really, really good players, much better than me, they don't always play with their fingers super close to the keys. And I thought about it, and finger closeness, the finger height, I guess we'll call it, finger height is actually, in my opinion, a byproduct of moving fingers fluidly with relaxed, controlled motions, okay? So if you're going around and you're plunking your fingers down and you're really tense and you're using very rigid hand and finger technique, then of course your fingers are going to be like standing on end and you're not going to know which way is up. So my thought is to think about moving fingers with control and with fluidity, rather than moving your fingers with rigid, awkward technique. And as a byproduct, your fingers may be closer to the keys whenever you start to speed things up and work to faster tempos. So give that a try and think about that rather than just keeping your fingers close. And it will also improve your legato playing in slower pieces of music as well. So one thing to think about. The next thing is, of course, you want to keep your air flowing from note to note. So this isn't just about keeping fingers even from note to note, but it's also keeping your air and your tone and your sound consistent, going all the way up and down the range. So keep the air flowing as if you were just doing a whole note for every measure. The other thing is, as some people start to speed things up, it's really easy to start wobbling the clarinet around and lose balance. And when we lose balance, we start to bite and clench and clamp, and then high notes don't speak and notes squeak and all this stuff. So keep the instrument stable using your thumb against your top teeth and your lips, your embouchure, okay? So that doesn't necessarily mean you have to use a double lip embouchure, right? But even single lip embouchure requires use of your top lip and the muscles and everything around in your face, okay? So stabilize your instrument using these 3 points. So those are my quick thoughts about this one. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this. Timer, 10 minutes. The last time I used this was why everybody uses their timers. lately here in 2022, and that is to time your COVID self-test. So anyway, all right, and I haven't really played yet today, so we'll see how this goes. This will be a good warm-up. Okay, so I'm going to sight read this first and then work on it, so my 10 minutes is not starting yet. And as a side note, I'm going to sight read this, but these are just C major patterns going up and down, so this kind of work is already in my fingers from years of fundamental practice, and so your sight reading speed may be higher or lower than my sight reading speed, but wherever you are, before you start to do speed training, you kind of have to see what you can do first and then choose a way slower tempo to start at to see if you can actually work past whatever your top sight reading speed is. At least that's what I like to do. Okay, so I'm guessing that's probably around 126. Nope. All right, so that's about 116, just reading through it, and I can already tell that the frustrating thing for me is going to be making sure that I don't go up too far. So being mindful and counting how many notes up and down I'm going to make sure I stay on track. So that's 116. I'm gonna actually start this at 72. So that way I can get plenty of repetitions in slower tempos before I start trying to max out my tempo. So make sure that's on. Okay, cool. All right, so starting the timer, and here we go. Bump up from 72 to 80. Started thinking about my read about that point, and then I messed that up. So I'm going to start at the beginning of the last line. All right. 96. way through at 144. All right, that's not too bad. So I hope you guys have fun practicing this on your own. And I'm sorry, I breathe kind of wherever I want, and I tried to only take one beat to breathe whenever I breathe, but I think there was one time where I took two. So if you want to play along with me, I'm going to go ahead and put little breath marks in the spots where I take a whole beat to breathe. So if you want to try to keep up and do this 10-minute warm up with me, that'd be super. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a good weekend, a good week next week. Don't forget to post on the Facebook group. And as always, happy practicing.